ties it up.
Holy Ghost is on the move.
Yeah, Firebirds had a lot of momentum.
Right from the jump for the Firebirds, who look really good.
Hello everybody and welcome to Holy Ghost Prep in the Dewey Athletic Complex, where we have our second day in a row with a first stream of the year. This one, the first from the lacrosse field at Frannick Memorial. I'm Caden Stewart.
I'm Jack Dobbins.
And in just a few minutes we'll be underway with the Holy Ghost Prep Firebirds taking on the Shipley School Gators in Varsity Boys Lacrosse here at Holy Ghost Prep. It's the first live stream of the year for the lacrosse team, and we'll go to the PA announcer for the start of the national anthem. Alright, we're back from Frannick Memorial Field in the Dewey Athletic Complex at Holy Ghost Prep. We'll go over your starting lineups for the Holy Ghost Prep Firebirds. For HGP, it is Bobby Williams, senior defenseman, paired with Michael Holt, his fellow senior, Ryan Lippy, and Dylan McManus on defense to start for the Firebirds. At midfield is Michael Malpezzi, the senior, Thomas Walsh, the sophomore, and in attack midi, Brady Flynn, the only freshman on the varsity roster. After that, on attack, you have Josh Rasler, number 11, who's coming off a hat trick on the open Saturday for Holy Ghost a few weeks ago, and Jude Walsh, a fellow junior, wearing number 29. In goal, a new name for Holy Ghost, the sophomore Seamus Cranley, coming off of JV last year. He's replacing Mateo DeChico, who comes out of net after 2 years as the varsity starter for the Firebirds. As previously stated, DeChico now moves to midfield. He will be a substitution to start today's game, but I expect to see him potentially later on. So both sides will meet at midfield. We'll come back when game action is under play between the Holy Ghost Prep Firebirds and the Shipley Gators. All right, about to get underway here at the Holy Ghost Prep between the Firebirds and the Gators, both sending the representatives out to midfield for this opening face-off. We'll be calling this one radio style as we're having camera issues which we'll work on throughout the stream. But for now, you get to listen to me and Jack's beautiful voices without much camera work behind the scenes. Both sides getting ready on this windy Wednesday afternoon for the first home varsity lacrosse game of the season. The Firebirds representative at midfield will be the sophomore Thomas Walsh. For Shipley, it will be Stevie Maniitis. Opening faceoff is won by Maniitis and the Gators, who immediately turn the ball over. Picked up by Coburn. And Coburn will bring it down. He shuffles it forward to Malik Mustafa, the midfielder. Mustafa tries to find open space. He backs it out. And the Gators will reset it or a slight push. Noah Lackman brings it in. Lackman drops it right back off to Bradlow. Holding at the top, Max Hyatt, the midfielder. Hyatt looking for a way in. He goes down the near side. And he finds his man in Tanner Andriotti. Andriotti backs it out now. And he goes back around the X behind the net to Rafa Snyder. The Gators in their road all green jersey, pants, helmet, etc. The Firebirds in their typical home white unis with the blue helmets. So while a long offensive possession ensued, Seamus Cranley does not see a shot on net in his first varsity minutes of the season, at least at home. Instead, he drops one off to Bobby Williams, a senior defenseman. Williams trying to force the issue, and he does, but it goes a little bit too far and over the head of his intended target, and who appeared to be Mike Holt along that Gators sideline. So Jack, your first game doing varsity lacrosse, how are you feeling going into it?
Very interesting to see from the broadcaster's perspective. I mean, it's a great sport I've had to watch, but it's my first time seeing it from the booth, and it's very, very different having to think about things you may have not seen as a casual viewer.
Gators on their new possession. Going back and forth and exchanging passes, Max Hyatt and Dan Waldenberger. Hyatt backs it out, being pressured away, fires it down near the net, picked up by Noah Lackman. Lackman spins away from one, fires to the side of Mustafa, the midfielder. Mustafa gets a shot on goal. He may have caught a piece of one of the defensemen out in front of the net. Probably Thomas Walsh. And the Gators won the race out of bounds, so they will retain possession. They go back up to the top, weaving in and out, over to the near side. One bounce pass comes from Ben Bradlow. Bradlow now goes down low, and Rafa Snyder touches the ball once more around the X. Snyder will reset. The Gators have held on to the ball for the entirety of these opening 2 minutes and 30 seconds. In this first 12-minute frame, hovering around is Mustafa. Wants to get to Snyder again, and he does. Snyder then finds Bradlow immediately on the exchange. Bradlow down to Hyatt. Hyatt being pressured away, and now forced behind the net. Turning around is Seamus Cranley, ready for whip around, which will come. Shaking off a man was Noah Lackman, the midfielder, and then Lackman lost possession of the ball. The Firebirds forced into the corner, trying to get it away, staying in bounds. A great toe tap move by Malpezzi to stay in bounds. He goes up the sideline. The Firebirds finally have possession of the ball for more than 2 consecutive seconds. Here's Mateo DeChico, subs on immediately. DeChico forces the issue down the field. Spins out of one check. DeChico. That pass was knocked away, but is corralled in by Jacob Tuza. So Chico and Tuza, 2 new pairs of fresh legs, as the Firebird defense was getting a little bit tired there, trying to hold on to possession for 3 minutes in a row. Coming way out of his own net is the starting goaltender in Xander Gillian. Gillian pulling a DeChico from last year way up on midfield. It's swatted away and the Firebirds pick it up. Gillian forced all the way back. And the Firebirds will look to press. Here's Tuza. Tuza by the scorer's table has to turn it over as he pushed out of bounds.
Tuza sort of limping off to the sideline.
Yeah, Tuza will go off. Lucas Farrell turns the ball over for the Gators. Here come the Firebirds and Scott Harkins. Harkins down the field. That one's knocked away. Good check by the Gator defenseman. And George Drake. Speaking of, Drake, he moves down the field to Stevie Maniitis. Maniitis turns that one over. Back-to-back possessions end soon and inadvertently for the Gators. Going down the field now is Bobby Williams, the senior defenseman. Williams backs it out to the red-hot Josh Razzler. We saw Razzler have hat tricks in each of the 2 live-streamed games last year for the last season, while Frantic Memorial Field was under construction as the expansion of the New Athletic Complex looks great. We had the lights up, not in use tonight, but they will be come Friday night at 7:30 when HGP Lax plays their next game. Razzler around the X tried to recover the bobbled pass, which came from Ryan Lippy. And Razzler knocked out of bounds, but it will stay with the Firebirds.
Rough defensive game so far for both squads. Ton of checks, a ton of tough defensive hits, trying to make sure the ball stays within possession of each squad. Specifically, the Firebirds over down by the crease, trying to just check as many players as possible, including one only about 2 feet out, which caused the ball to go out of bounds. Did stay with the Gators, but a great defensive play and providing some good cushion for Cranley, the new goalie.
The Firebird defense has been staunch, only allowing 1 shot on goal, which Cranley was able to get a pad on. DeChico tried to get another shot on goal in exchange, but was unable to and was pressured away. Here's a shot on goal. That one saved by Cranley, making it look easy off of his helmet. The rebound's pushed back out over near the near side. No one seems to want the ball, as knocking it away was Tanner Andriotti for the Gators. And now a Firebird is down behind the play, and this will bring about a stoppage as Jacob Tuza, the senior midfielder, goes down. He's slow to get up, and we'll take a break as the athletic training staff comes on. Through the first 7 minutes, it is a 0-0 score here at Holy Ghost Prep. So Tuza is helped off, but he walks off under mostly his own power. He goes to the cart. We hope we see him back in the game later on. For right now, it is the Gators' possession and Max Hyatt, the midfielder. Hyatt going back and forth, subbing on for the first time is Cooper Abraham, the defenseman. He gets the first pass, and Abraham fires a missile on net, but it's saved by Cranley, and he scoops it up. Two shots on goal so far for the Gators, none for the Firebirds, 7 minutes into action. Firebirds looking to change that now as Josh Razzler goes all the way down, takes the pass, shovels one forward. It's another good save made by Xander Gillian.
Penalty is down.
Gillian made the save. A penalty was called. The flag was thrown along that near sideline. And there'll be a substitution for the Gators. So a man down, or pardon me, they get one up. So say 9-on-9 between the Firebirds and the Gators. Going around the side, Thomas Walsh from Josh Razzler. The return feed back to Walsh. Walsh fires one down to the circle to the middle, around the X to Razzler. Razzler gets the return feed, tries to make a man miss, did for a moment, but he's forced to retreat it back out. Now here's a shot, off balance, save made. Brady Flynn, the freshman, took the shot, and it was immediately snuffed out by Xander Gillian. Gillian at a heave all the way down, and our first lacrosse ball will found in 95 as it bounces over that far side beyond the Firebird bench. Very defensive and slow-paced first period. The Firebirds currently tied with the Gators, 0-0. They trail 2-0 in shots. Razzler swings it around. Razzler underneath looking for Flynn, but just a little bit too high for the freshman. Sorry for the stoppage. The Gators take back over on offense. Going back and forth was Andrioli. Andrioli drops it off, and winning the race out of bounds is Rava Snyder for the Gators. Swinging around for the Gators, Malik Mustafa. Mustafa was able to get a shot on net in the Gators' last possession. Instead, the Firebirds turn him away this time and will force the turnover. And Jack Coburn takes it up. And Coburn may have started a little bit early as the Firebirds trying to get another pair of fresh legs on the field. So Coburn's first to go back to the starting spot, and he'll reset. He finds Razzler. Razzler has Brady Flynn down low, but decides not to go to him. And we'll bring it back up near midfield. Razzler fires across for the first time today. It is Jude Walsh recepting into the pass. Walsh by the sideline, forcing the issue and pressing into the box. Walsh now backs it out. Drops it off to the middle. Looking for a shot which didn't come. No rebound, obviously. Ralph Smolinski dives out for it, but he's unable to get the rebound. Here come the Gators on the offensive. Charging all the way down is Max Hyatt. Hyatt uncontested to the middle. Mustafa, that pass deflected away. Lofted up in the air. Hyatt regains possession again. Hyatt forces one on net. It's deflected away. Getting a stick on it was the goaltender, Seamus Cranley. And it will just really trickle out of bounds. Timeout called by HGP is the first for either side. We're through about 9.5 minutes of play from Holy Ghost Prep. 2:24 remains in the first, and we're still scoreless. Gators and Firebirds tied up at 0 through the first 7.5 minutes. 2 minutes to play in this opening quarter of 12. And the Firebird offense will take over as another inadvertent turnover by the Gators. That one came off the stick of Noah Lackman. Bringing it up from behind is Michael Malpezzi. Malpezzi drops it off to Seamus Cranley. Cranley well out of the net. Up near midfield, he fires one down, just barely overshot his intended target in Thomas Walsh. One of 2 Walshes on the team. Flying up the near sideline is a Gator attackman. That being Finn Buckley, getting his name called for the first time today. Buckley around the X. And Buckley finds Tanner Andriotti, who turns it over and immediately picking it back up as Seamus Cranley for the Firebird defense. Cranley, one bounce pass, scooped up to the turf by Josh Rasler. Rasler was going to go to Flynn, but instead turns it back to Thomas Walsh. And Walsh finds Chico. Chico back out to the far side to Jacob Tuza. Tuza was seen injured off the field a few moments ago, but now he's back on. Back up to Thomas Walsh to the top. Walsh cuts it back. Walsh in open space fires a shot, and that one read well and scooped up by Xander Gillian. Gillian makes a save on his left side. He's one down the right side to Ben Bradlow. Bradlow to the middle. That one deflected away. It was intercepted by a Firebird defenseman out in front. That was Massimo Chalka. And Chalka drops it off to Cranley, who clears it away. Cranley down the field. Waiting, firing high was Michael Malpezzi. The Firebirds will retain possession as they win the race out of bounds.
It's exciting to finally see some offensive presence in this game. Starting off the first few minutes with a very, very high defensive profile among these teams. Finally getting to see 3 shots up within, say, 40 seconds is really impressive to change the pace of game.
Firebirds stay on their offensive zone. There's a broken stick at the top of said zone. It appeared to have come from the Gator defenseman Malik Mustafa. It'll stay there for now. Mustafa was trying to throw it off, but it won't matter as time will expire in this opening first quarter of play. 12 minutes down and 36 more to come from the Frannick Memorial Field in the DeWitt Athletic Complex at Holy Ghost Prep for your opening day lacrosse broadcast here on the Holy Ghost Prep YouTube channel. We're through 12 minutes of play at Holy Ghost Prep. 36 more to come from the New Athletic Complex. Firebirds and Gators even at 0 through the first 12. Jack, that's your first 12 minutes of lacrosse commentary at Holy Ghost. What are your thoughts so far?
Very different game in the booth as it is on TV, as I said earlier in this game. Especially with such a slow-paced defensive game for the first, say, 2/3 of the first quarter. Definitely had a different feel to it than, any other lacrosse experience I've had in my lifetime, as that ball rockets off the stick of a defender into the netting.
Yeah, the shot came, first shot of the second quarter by Max Hyatt, the midfielder.
Very fast, too, 22 seconds in.
Yeah, definitely a change of pace from what we saw from the Gators to start the first period, going 2 minutes and 30 seconds without really putting any pressure on net, more just trying to build up that time of possession, which they did so well in that first period, dominating in that category. They open up the second, during the same thing, going back and forth as Hyatt. And now Hyatt fires to the sideline, and finally a mistake is made by the Gator offense, allowing HGP to take over with 11:15 to play in the second quarter. Seamus Cranley, underhand pass. Goaltender to former goaltender into Chico, had that one knocked away. Trying to recover it. And playing physical offense are the Firebirds, but a little bit too physical as they're whistled away. It'll be a change of possession as taking over are the Gators. Max Hyatt, the midfielder, through the center field emblem. He drops it off to Max Hyatt. Hyatt back out now to Mustafa. Mustafa back to Hyatt. Out across to Bradlow. Ben Bradlow to the middle. That one knocked away on net. Nearly scored. A stick went off the back of the net. That may have been Dylan McManus' stick. And either way, he makes the save with the assist by Cranley to do so and keep the game scoreless.
Big play there to keep the game 0-0.
Max Hyatt and Cranley going back and forth. Hyatt has an open shot. The time he takes it and fires it wide. That one missed to the left side of the net. And Cranley stands strong, not having made a costly mistake yet.
Something very interesting is our two big spring sports, baseball and lacrosse. One of which, being lacrosse, being filled with all these upperclassmen, juniors and seniors, primarily taking up maybe 80% of this roster. Whereas baseball, as last night we saw, there was only one upperclassman in that starting lineup. There's 9 sophomores and 1 senior. So it's very interesting to see the contrast between baseball and lacrosse in terms of how the roster is built up based on grade level.
Say, just for today, the lacrosse roster only contains 3 sophomores and 1 freshman for the Firebirds, compared to, as Jack said, a vast majority upperclassmen. One of the upperclassmen for the Gators getting a shot on goal, that being Malik Mustafa. And it's fired wide of the net to the left side. The Gators will keep possession. Around the back of the net, Noah Lackman. Lackman to the top, that one sailed high. And the Gators will be forced to reset as the ball will stay in their offensive zone as the Firebird midfielders pressured up. One of them being Brady Flynn, who's gotten 2 shots near the net. One of them made the net and was forced to save by Xander Gillian. For now, the Gator offense stays on. Race out of bounds between Mike Holt and Rafa Snyder is won by Holt, who forces it in. Holt pays the price for it behind the play. Pardon me, that's Jude Walsh. But Walsh immediately applies pressure once more and forces the Gators back into the offensive zone.
Holt making some big hits over there by the sideline.
Malik Mustafa now brings it down. Mustafa, Hyatt, wind-up shot. That one deflected away and ushered out of play by Seamus Cranley in net for the Firebirds once more.
And that ball sails all the way into the parking lot over by the Firebird Fieldhouse.
The cars are never safe no matter what spring sport you play.
They might be safe in Frisbee.
Potentially.
But, no guarantees here at Holy Ghost
One
Prep.
good wrist flick, and you never know. Mustafa back and forth, trying to find a return feed. He could not. Shuffling the ball around is Mike Holt. Holt eventually picks it up, but turns the ball over. Cranley, what a huge hit by the goaltender, Seamus Cranley. He'll bring about a flag. but probably a smart penalty there by Cranley as he absolutely leveled a Gator in front of the net to keep the game scoreless.
The goaltender pulling a pancake block with the ball almost right in that goal. Ref immediately took that flag right out of his pocket and chucked it up because there was no hesitation on that pancake. Just went through it almost instantaneously.
That was Noah Lackman, the victim of said pancake. And Seamus Cranley, the goaltender, will be forced off.
Cranley doing his best Quentin Nelson impression.
Interesting situation here for the Firebirds as Cranley will be ushered to the sideline for his penalty. The Gators are back on offense. Gavin McDonough will sub on in goal for the Firebirds during this penalty for Cranley. McDonough currently watching as Mustafa makes a move for the Gator offense. The Firebird defense stands strong for the moment. DeChico applies the pressure. And the positive whistle comes for the Firebirds as McDonough can take a deep breath as he was just subbed on to face this aggressive Gator defense in the second period. DeChico, what a hit by DeChico. Holds onto the ball. Mateo DeChico and then drops it. But what a possession for the Firebirds, as brief as it was.
I'm loving the change in play here from the Firebirds, going from a more laid-back defensive approach into a huge let's slam people to the floor offensive approach. Absolutely love to see it.
That's one of the best quotes I've ever heard from Jack on a broadcast. Here's the pass, and that one just wide of the net. As the centering feed came from Thomas Walsh, whose fellow Walsh, Jude, was able to fire a shot near the net, but just missed wide of Xander Gillian. Speaking of Gillian, he'll hold on to the ball for the moment. Two bounce pass is slowly rolling towards George Drake, the defenseman, who picks it up for the Gators. Drake to the middle. That one pickpocketed away by Jacob Tuza.
Great play by Tuza there.
Tuza to the middle to Jude Walsh. Walsh, a stick around his neck, no call. Walsh again delivers a hit. Razzler in the middle there. In contention, Razzler to Harkins. Harkins a spin behind the back. That one knocked away. It'll stay in the field of play for the moment. Goaltender out of the net for the Gators in Xander Gillian, and Gillian lofts it down the field just to get it away. Almost picked away by the Firebirds, but instead it is the big Malik Mustafa having his will and forcing the ball back into his teammate sticks. 5 minutes gone in this second period, or second quarter. We should be doing box for those 3 periods. Second quarter. 6:54 and ticking to play on the clock, and the ticking will stop immediately as a timeout is called on the field by the Gators this time. It remains scoreless through the first 17 minutes of play in the first lacrosse broadcast for the Holy Ghost Prep Firebirds.
just twerk.
Score remains scoreless to the first 5 minutes and 30 seconds in this second quarter. The Firebirds will start the possession on offense. Mateo DeChico spins away from one defenseman, that being Cooper Abraham. Abraham and DeChico going at it. DeChico spins through, uses classmate Jude Walsh as a pick. Thought about a return feed. DeChico hit down low. That'll draw about a flag.
Really dirty hit. Looked like it hit him right on the shin.
DeChico will change sides, but he will stay on the field. It appears he's going to sub off for the moment, but he stays on. Down low and swinging it around is Brady Flynn. Flynn finds DeChico. DeChico couldn't find the ball to start, but he picks it back up and recovers for the Firebird reset. DeChico has a man to his right, that being Thomas Walsh. He goes further to the other Walsh, Jude Walsh, to Flynn. Flynn around the back of the net. Razzler winds up. That shot saved. Foot save by Xander Gillian. Jude Walsh crowds in the loose ball. Walsh down low to Tuza. Tuza to the top to Chico. One-timer, that one saved. And another great save by Gillian, using his legs for both of them.
We've seen some great defensive play from these goalkeepers so far, but I feel like the Shipley goalie is just doing a great job of getting down and being able to block them while they're still low instead of prioritizing getting them high.
Since the Firebirds have found their offensive footing, the Shipley goaltender, as you said, in Xander Gillian, has been absolutely locked down. So has Seamus Cranley and Gavin McDonough. McDonough has played 2 minutes, but the penalty against Cranley is over, so Cranley's back in net for HGP. Pass back to the top, Logan Barnes. I'm on the wrong roster, never mind. Malik Mustafa takes the pass. Mustafa to Noah Lackman. Lackman will hold on to it, and the Gators are back to playing their slow-paced offense, which kept the game scoreless through the first set of 12 minutes. Ben Bradlow with the ball around the top of the key. Bradlow directing traffic, not much motion at all. Moving around is Hyatt in front of him. Bradlow now makes a charge in. Hyatt waiting for the return. He's going to get it. Hyatt drops it off now. That pass is a little bit high. In and out of the stick of Noah Lackman. That's a turnover for the Gators. The Firebirds take over. Slowly moving down the field, Malpezzi. Malpezzi cuts it back and forth. He's going to loft one up looking for Holt. And instead it'll stay just barely in play. Maybe a premature whistle by the official there. Regardless, it'll go out of bounds before the end of the play. And so it will be Malik Mustafa and Cooper Abraham bringing it down. Here's George Drake. Drake up the field. Out across now to Andriotti. Andriotti to Cranley. Or gets a shot on Cranley. Cranley makes the save and will restart this Firebird possession. Cranley with a slow one-bounce pass drops it off for Holt. Holt carrying speed. Mike Holt flying up down the sideline by the Firebird bench along that far side. Brady Flynn takes it around the back and immediately whistled off because a timeout was called by the Firebirds. It's their second of this first half of play. 3:35 to play in the second quarter. We are still scoreless at Holy Ghost Prep. Coming out of the Firebirds' second timeout of the second quarter. The Firebirds will start with the ball, looking to get the first goal of the game for either side. 3:20 remains in the second quarter. Brady Flynn hoping to be the hero, at least in this first half, trying to get some action going. Flynn took a shot up high, finds DeChico. DeChico just found the left side of the net. A little bit too far to the left, but a whistle comes and a flag was thrown before the shot. Brady Flynn patrolling the outskirts of the box, so bring it back in for the Firebird offense. Flynn has Razzler open. He goes right to him, but Razzler mishandled the pass. Trying to bring it back in along that far side, unable to. Neither side seems to really want the ball. A flag will be thrown to the Gators' appeal, or to the Gators' appeasement. And the Gators will squander that opportunity as the pass is thrown way out of play. But a Gator was tripped up on the way down. That was Lucas Farrell down the far side towards Cranley and net. DeChico will be called for the penalty. Or maybe not, he'll just sub off. So DeChico subs off. A Firebird was called for a penalty, though, as it'll be 9-on-8 for the Gators. Coming out of the whistle, the Gators will start with the ball. Still have not been whistled back into play, as the officials are communicating probably the details of the penalty to the scorer's box on the far side. Now we're back underway with Malik Mustafa in the opening pass of the new possession. Here's Max Hyatt. Hyatt to Lackman. Lackman lost the ball for a moment. Now the Firebirds trying to take it down. Lackman scoops it up. And Andrioli will be called for the whistle for the Gators. So the Firebirds will continue possession in this very slow-paced game. Only 2.5 remaining in the first half, and we are still scoreless at HGP. Mike Holt takes the ball down, and Holt fires that one a little bit high. Looked to have caught a stick of a Gator, which sent it high and out of play. And the Gators will get rewarded with possession. Goaltender came out of the net. That was Xavier Gillian. Or Xander Gillian. And here comes Ben Bradlow. Bradlow off the pass from Gillian. Goes down the field. Finds Max Hyatt once more. And Hyatt back out to Malik Mustafa. Mustafa now back to Hyatt. Hyatt to Bradlow. Bradlow down low to Andrioli. Andrioli goes even lower around that far sideline. Comes back to the near side now. He has Mustafa. Mustafa by the outskirts of the box. And he brings it back up near midfield. And then makes a charge back in. Mustafa pressured out towards the middle. Hyatt recovers. And Hyatt has an open shot. He doesn't take it for the moment. Hyatt cuts it in, backs it away to the middle. Open opportunity for the Gators, deflected up and saved by Cranley as a shot came off a stick of Dan Waldenberger. And appeared to catch the stick of Mike Holt on the way through.
Ball came to Cranley like a pop fly.
And Cranley did make the play on that one. Firebird offense are trying to track down the loose ball. They're unable to, as Razzler and Walsh seem to be discussing who should grab it. And here's Gillian. Xander Gilliam once more being pressured away. Brady Flynn forces the issue. That pass back to the middle to Mustafa. Mustafa has run the offense so far today and most of the defensive plays for the Gators. He has been the primary target of all the goaltender passes from Gillian. Nice hit applied by a Fiber defenseman on a Gator along that far side. Mustafa forced down low again. Back around the X. Mustafa tosses it up to Rafa Snyder. Snyder to the far side. Jagger Greenberger. 2 seconds on the clock and ticking away. That'll be it for this first half of play from Holy Ghost. 24 minutes gone and 24 more to come from the Frantic Memorial Field at Holy Ghost Prep. And we'll see if either side wants to find the net as we remain scoreless, as previously said, with 24 minutes to go between the Holy Ghost Prep Firebirds and the Shipley Gators. So, Jack, you've seen now a full half of Lacrosse. What are your thoughts?
This game is much more defensive-based than I, seen in college games or even professional games. It's just a very different environment. I don't know if all high school games are like this. I've seen a few games here at Ghost, but less so than, say, baseball or basketball or hockey. But it's a very different environment, and I do really enjoy it. I think I'm going to enjoy calling lacrosse for, the rest of this year and all of next year. I think I'm really going to enjoy it.
Yeah, it should be fun. Hopefully it's a little bit more fun of the second half for viewers here on your radio-style broadcast for the day. Nothing through 24, with 24 more to come. We're back at Holy Ghost Prep, cameraless but back, as the Holy Ghost Prep Firebirds and Shipley School Gators currently tied up at 0 through the first 24 minutes of play. 12 more to come in this third quarter, followed by 12 more in the fourth, but for now, no amount of time has seemed to allot either side a decent opportunity on net, and obviously no successful ones so far. Opening face-off in the second half is won by Lucas Farrell. Hasn't touched the ball much today, and he will sub off shortly after winning the face-off. Farrell finds Stevie Manionitis. Manionitis on the drop back to Ben Bradlow. And Bradlow off to that far side. And he gets the return and holds on to it. Whistle sounds. The signal was for timeout. I don't think anyone on the field thinks that they called timeout. And now we're back. So I'm not sure what that was. Looked to be a substitution, but a late one for the Gators. 16 seconds into the start of the second half. Here's a pass on net. Now one scooped up by Cranley. Makes it look easy and doesn't let the ball get on net. Bringing it around now is Cooper Abraham. Abraham by the Firebird sideline, backs it away. Back to Ben Bradlow. And Bradlow now to Max Hyatt. Bradlow subbed off shortly after the pass. Hyatt thought his stick broke for a second, but instead the ball just fell out of it. And now forced to pick up the loose change off Hyatt's shot is Tanner Andrioli. Hyatt picks the ball back up. Stevie Manionitis. Manionitis taking shots, avoids a check, but the check that did get to him was enough to knock the ball away. Ryan Lippy fights for the loose ball. Lippy pressures that one away, and the ball will trickle out of bounds along that Firebird sideline. Here's Dan Waldenberger. Waldenberger down low. Andrioli once more. Andrioli took a shot up high, but not enough for a penalty. More inadvertent contact by Malpezzi than anything else. Up to the top, Cooper Abraham. Abraham checks it down, a one bounce pass to Rafa Snyder. And Snyder will see that pass go out of bounds along the sideline nearest us. Josh Rasler now starts with the ball. Or pardon me, that's Pezzi, and Malpezzi is called for the whistle, and that'll be a quick one and done turnover for HGP. Andrioli starts to move it down the field along that near side. Andrioli splits the defense, pushed away. Malpezzi with a pancake and forgot about the ball, and that might bring about a penalty. It does bring about a whistle. And the Gators will retain possession, but a big hit by Pezzi to knock the ball loose. It'll stall the Gator possession for the moment, but they'll pick up right where they left off, literally.
Huge play, two Ghost defenders just pushing into the ground. The ball was a good 10 feet away, just focused on getting the ball out of it when it was already out of it.
Bradlow up to the top, Jack Coburn. Coburn down to Jack Waldenberger. Back-to-back Jacks getting passes. The second one goes on the attack. Here's a spin shot, and Lackman has that one blocked away. More good defense by the Firebirds. Now Pezzi looking for a redemption play. He's going to have it. Extends the stick out, holding onto the ball up across midfield. Now Pezzi down to the corner. He has Rasler. Rasler down to Brady Flynn. And Flynn in trouble, being pressured away. Flynn finds Rasler in open space once more. Rasler scoops up the low pass and fires one to Thomas Walsh for the Firebird offensive reset. 3.5 minutes have elapsed in this third quarter. Both sides hoping to see the first goal go their way. DeChico checks it down to Jude Walsh. Back to DeChico. Lofty pass to Tommy Walsh, pardon me. Walsh by top of the box. Tommy Walsh, pass goes down low, knocked away, way out of his own net as the goaltender Xander Gillian. It won't cost them for the moment, but that pass is deflected away and picked up by the Firebirds. Avoiding a hit is Malpezzi. Malpezzi heaves one down. The Firebirds are back on the attack. Gillian's back in his own net. Walsh recognizes it and will spin away, hoping to get some fresh legs. Instead, he finds DeChico. And DeChico will slow the pace down. Into the corner for Razzler. Back to DeChico. Almost lost it, but recovers it in midair. DeChico out across. Walsh down low. Back to Flynn. Flynn to Razzler. The Firebirds around the horn with it. Razzler spins away. Thought he had a lane in. Decided not to go with that. The high pass goes into the Gator offensive zone. And we whistled away. The Gators will take over as the Firebirds are called for the whistle. 7:15 and ticking to remain in this third quarter of third quarter of 4. Starting with the ball now is Noah Lackman. Lackman has Santino Tiberio in his face. Tiberio's first time on the field today. Instead, he goes off to the side to Malik Mustafa. Mustafa evades a high hit. Good hip check by the Firebirds. That one pickpocketed away. DeChico has played physical defense all day, and he's been good at it. DeChico and Mike Holt this time try to bring it down the field, but their possession and momentum are slowed by a whistle. It will stay with the Firebirds, but Mike Holt will have to restart. And he will hold the long pole midi. Holt being pressured by the sideline. One bounce pass to the middle. On target to Walsh, but Walsh had to bounce off his stick multiple times. Tommy Walsh trying to recover. He cannot. And Finn Buckley picks it up. Buckley fires one on net. What a hit applied by Seamus Cranley. My goodness, Seamus Cranley levels the playing field, and he did so in every sense of the word. His second penalty for a hit today. My goodness, was that a vicious hit out in front.
What a massive hit. Doing his best Ed Reed impression out there. Absolutely trucking him. Just jogging right over to the penalty area. Just seeming as happy as he could be after laying a crazy hit over by the goal. Wow.
You already know we got a lot of anger out on that one. That was a diving all-out effort. Coming back in is Gavin McDonough.
It's one of those moments you hate the fact the camera's not on.
Yeah, that would have been a clip for the college reel. McDonough back in net for the second time today off a second penalty by Cranley, and he makes a tip save in his first opportunity. Cranley over the sideline, kneeling down in front of the athletic table and being congratulated by the Firebird bench.
Rightfully so.
And then immediately off the inbound, it's a goal scored for the first time today, but by the Shipley School Gators. And the centering feed just beat McDonough. And finally, a whopping 31 minutes into play, we have our first goal. It is a 1-0 lead for the Gators. The goal was scored by number 34, Cooper Abraham, the defenseman. So with 5:50 to play in the third, the Firebirds will now have to play from behind. Neither side was able to get a positive opportunity until then. The penalty against Cranley was non-releasable, so McDonough, who is allowed the only goal today, will stay in net. Face-off is knocked away and won by Noah Lackman. Lackman resets, finds Ben Bradlow. Bradlow, he's one across. That one goes high and out by the benches. Max Hyatt, the midfielder, was the intended target, but just went a little bit too high over his head. Here come the Firebirds on offense as Mike Holt bringing it up. Holt steps back, trying to find open space, but can't come across the midline. He's helped by the Gators in not doing so. Now he does without possession of the ball. Holt and Razzler applying the pressure, and now the Firebirds will force a turnover. Back in the defensive zone, Bobby Williams. Williams charging all the way down. He drops off for Holt. Holt back to Williams. There's a great set as Williams had open space, but the pass was a little bit wide as Holt took a hit as he delivered it. Here's Ben Bradlow. Bradlow to the middle. One bounce shot, and it sizzles high of the net as McDonough will make sure to solidify the Firebird possession of the ball coming off of the out-of-bounds shot. 4:40 to play in the third. Remains 1-0 Gators after Abraham broke the 30-minute scoreless drought. Thomas Walsh brings it up. Walsh tried to find his man in Ryan Lippy. Lippy had to toe tap his sideline as he couldn't come across, and that may have cost him possession of the ball. Here come the Gators on the move. Coburn. Coburn back to Lackman. Moving around now is Mustafa. Mustafa fires it on net. It found metal. Bobby Williams trying to bring in the ball. He cannot. It'll go out of bounds off the Firebirds, but Williams and McDonough combined to make the save.
I'm unsure if the shot hit the goal or if I think the stick came down and smashed it into the ground.
Regardless, the net did shake. The ball got close enough to the net where it was a decent opportunity for the Gators, considering what we've seen today for either side. The Gators will squander the end of it, though, as that one's turned over by the Firebird sideline. So HGP's offense is back on. Playing from behind, down 1 goal, 1-0, with 3.5 now to play in the third. Being pressured back is Malpezzi. And Malpezzi, the quick turnover, way out of his own net is Xander Gillian. Gillian tosses one up to Max Hyatt. Hyatt spinning on net. Mustafa has that one knocked away. Williams trying to pick up the loose ball. Williams and DeChico combining on a hit from Mustafa. Mustafa one-bounce shot is saved by McDonough, and DeChico picks up the rebound. Mustafa is down behind the play for taking a hit. Slowly getting up, but getting up indeed. DeChico cutting across, taking every type of hit imaginable and not giving up the ball at the moment. Now he finds Razzler down the field. Mustafa hobbling around. It appears he'll come off. And a big piece of this offense for the Gators will sub off. Razzler scoops in the loose ball. Razzler to DeChico. DeChico directing traffic with Tommy Walsh and Jude Walsh in front of him. He goes to the ladder. And that pass is sizzled up to the top to Thomas Walsh. Walsh from the top of the box. Shot. And that one is saved by Gillian. But Tommy Walsh gets a shot on goal, which we have not seen a lot of for either side. 2 minutes even to play in this third of 4 quarters. Ryan Lippy trying to kill some clock by picking up the ball and running around, but lost it again. Max Hyatt now by the sideline. And Hyatt and the Gators back on offense. Here's Noah Lackman. Lackman will hold on and wait for a substitution, and Mustafa comes back on for being slow to get up on the last Gator offensive possession. Mustafa is on. Abraham is on it as well. Abraham, the lone goal scorer. And Mustafa, by the midfield emblem, makes a run in. Mustafa challenging his man Jacob Tuza, who we've seen come off with injuries today, and Tuza wins the battle as he forces a whistle going against the Gators. The Firebirds will take over. A Gator limping as he gets up. That's Stevie Maniitis. But Maniitis will stay on for the moment. No signs of going towards the sideline. Mike Holt doing the same. Holt to Walsh. One bouncer. He scores! Holt to Jude Walsh. Walsh tried to go for the chest butt with Razzler and missed, but he did not miss the net on the shot. Jude Walsh, the first goal of the Firebirds streaming season, and it's an evener at 1-1.
Great season of scoring for the Firebirds finally. After a good defensive showing, they're starting to heat up. A great drive there, and Jude Walsh finishing it off with a great goal, hitting off the left metal into the net. Just a great shot, great teamwork right there, and Firebirds seem to be heating up when it's needed most.
Mike Holt credited with the assist on the Jude Walsh goal. Walsh, the junior attackman, had a goal in each of the games we broadcast last year. Unfortunately, only being 2, so only our 3rd live stream in about 2 seasons for Holy Ghost Prep Lacrosse, and HGP looking to advance to 3-0 in those 3 games. Mateo DeChico spins out of traffic and finds open space. 35 seconds ticking remaining on the clock in this 3rd period, which got a little bit more interesting with these 2 goals, one by Mustafa for the Gators, one by Walsh. Jude Walsh for the Firebirds, and another quick response. It's Walsh again. Keep feeding the man, as Walsh from Holt has scored twice in 20 seconds after the Firebirds have come up empty in nearly 40 minutes before that.
Firebird bench getting super hyped for this team. Jude Walsh, 2 consecutive goals. They are feeding the man like he's queso. This is incredible for the Firebird offense. 2 goals almost from the same spot, maybe only a couple feet apart. Firebirds really heating up and taking a lead in maybe the last 30 seconds.
Both possessions are read perfectly as Jude Walsh gets 2 shots on goal and scores 2 goals in those 2 shots. 22 seconds on the clock. The Gators hoping for a quick response. They come flying up, and a hit delivered by Mike Holt with 2 assists on those 2 goals.
That's my president.
SGA President Mike Holt will lay down the law in front of the net, and Jude Walsh, the 2-goal scorer, will pick up the loose ball, and time will stop with 4 seconds.
I will just say this, Mike Holt will be eligible for president in 2044, and that's where I will conclude this topic. I would just like to bring that up. I will be voting for him that year, I guarantee it.
I mean, I'm certainly not going to vote against them, considering what we've seen so far. 4.3 seconds to play in this 3rd period, the 3rd quarter. Gators with 1 last opportunity to try to tie this game. They will not do much with it. And the Firebirds, who entered the period scoreless, and so did the Gators, were down 1-0 at some point, or at one point. The Gators have now allowed 2 goals in 40 seconds, both by Jude Walsh from Mike Holt, and have now gone down 2-1. The Firebird offense is now starting to heat up. They've gotten 3 shots on goal in the last 3 possessions, 2 of them ending in a positive result, and we'll see if they can continue the momentum to the final 12 minutes of this game. From Holy Ghost Prep, it's your score 2-1, and we will take a break. We're back from Holy Ghost Prep with fourth quarter action between the Holy Ghost Prep Firebirds and the Shipley School Gators lacrosse teams. The Firebirds have their first lac stream of the year going their way thus far. They currently lead at 2-1, courtesy of Jude Walsh with 2 goals and Mike Holt, El Presidente, with 2 assists. Cooper Abraham, who has the lone goal for the Gators, will move it around. And Abraham with a 1 bounce pass to Malik Mustafa. Mustafa forced into the corner. He'll bring it up, trying to cut it through on net, and that one loose and picked up by Seamus Cranley. Cranley has more penalties called on him for vicious hits than he has goals allowed today. 2-0. So yeah, there's that going for him.
Put that on the stat sheet.
That would be something that certainly would stand out to me if I was looking at it.
0 goals allowed, 2 brutal pancake tackles.
Hey, Bobby Williams trying to hold on to the ball for the Firebirds and kill some clock. Still tons of time left, though, for either side to do something, but the Gators hoping to be the next one to do so. 10:40 to play in regulation. Taking the pass is Max Hyatt, the midfielder. Hyatt up by the midfield emblem. Will direct traffic and charge on in. He challenges Tommy Walsh. Mustafa back to the middle in Stevie Maniitis. Maniitis being pressured away now. And pass back to Hyatt. Mustafa, 1 bouncer shot, and they score! Mustafa, the 3rd player to score a goal in this game, and the 2nd for the Gators, who equalize the score at 2-2 over against the Holy Ghost Prep Firebird defense, has now only allowed their 2nd goal of the game through nearly 40 minutes.
We've seen 4 goals scored in maybe the last 5-6 minutes of this game, where we saw 0 the previous 30. This is a offensive hot streak for both squads that they need to keep riding and seeing how long they can go scoring these goals until someone comes out on top, because right now it's been from 0-0 to 1-1, and now we're back at 2-2. Someone needs to make a lead that they can hold.
10 minutes even to play in regulation. As Jack just said, it's 2-2. An immediate flag goes up, as appears to be against the Firebirds, as Hyatt will start the offensive possession for the Gators. The flag currently resides at the midfield emblem, as Hyatt will reset. Hyatt the return. And the Gators playing hot potato between Malik Mustafa, Max Hyatt, and Noah Lackman. Hyatt currently with the ball around midfield. Narrowly avoids going across that mid-line, which he is not allowed to do. Here's Mustafa. Mustafa slowly eked towards the net, looking to apply some pressure. Mustafa fires a shot, and they score! Mustafa gets the assist on the goal. Back-to-back goals now scored by Shipley. And they wait patiently, and patience pays off for the Shipley Gators. And it's now 3-2.
Well, there goes the stat we mentioned like 2 minutes ago. Rough sequence for the Firebirds.
That goal appeared to be scored by Tanner Andrioli, number 14. Andrioli joins the party as a 3rd different Gator to score a goal. He joins Cooper Abraham, who scored the opening goal of the game, followed by Malik Mustafa, and then Jude Walsh with 2 for the Firebirds. So that possession for the Gators elapsed 1 minute and 2 seconds exactly off the clock, so 8:58 remains in regulation time. The Firebirds now once again playing from down 1. Currently a 3-2 Gator lead. Tommy Walsh initially wins the face-off and turns the ball over right after that. Here comes Mustafa, who drops off to Abraham. Abraham down the field. Abraham, return. Abraham knocked away. And ball still loose. Ryan Lippy trying to recover it. Lippy took a late shot. And permits it Chico, and Chico is down behind the play. And the training staff will come on. Injury timeout for the Firebirds and Mateo Chico. And we'll take a timeout with them. We're back at Holy Ghost Prep. Mateo Chico went down with a lower body injury. He's currently being helped off to the sideline. And hopefully he's okay. We hope he's back in the game, as he has been a major physical force and presence for this Firebird team those 2 years as a starter, as a freshman and sophomore. Mostly in net. This year, starting off the season on defense. And he'll be ushered to the sideline. The Firebirds do earn possession as Tommy Walsh will immediately turn that one over. Walsh disagrees with the call. It was definitely a close one along that sideline. I believe it was ruled that he was out of bounds, but ball don't lie. The Firebirds get it right back, and it is Tommy Walsh getting the steal. Walsh into open space, and the Firebirds go on the offensive. Walsh, the man behind him, reads it well and drops off to the red-hot Tommy Walsh, Jude Walsh, who has 2 goals today. Jude kicks that one towards the sideline. Nice hit by him, but a whistle will come as Walsh forced a man out. That was meningitis. Here's Jude Walsh starting with the ball. Walsh up that near side, being pushed back by the midfield emblem. Walsh spinning around. Fires off to the near side. Razzler just barely lost possession of it, but it's enough for a steal and a turnover for the Gators. And the shot that came from it was by Finn Buckley and a little bit high. And so it's brought back in by Seamus Cranley with 7.5 to play in regulation. Here come the Firebirds back on the offensive attack. Razzler spun around. Razzler lost the ball on the spin. And now it's to play defense. And a whistle will come right after it. Timeout called by the Firebirds, their 3rd overall of the game and 1st overall of the second half for either side. 7:14 to play in the 4th. The Firebirds down 1, 3-2 to the Shipley Gators. Coming out of the Firebirds' third timeout of the game, their first of the second half, and it's much needed as they are now shorthanded, at least in terms of injury-wise. Mateo Chico goes off with a lower body injury. Still on the sidelines for the moment. 7 minutes to play in regulation time. 3-2 Shipley leads. And the way this game's been going, a 2-goal lead may be enough to seal it. And Seamus Cranley does not see that shot make it all the way to him. Mike Holt got a hand on it and got the save. Here's a one-hand and shot and score. Malik Mustafa with one hand whips it around the side, and he beat Seamus Cranley for the 4th goal of the game for the Gators and the 2nd of the game for Malik Mustafa.
Sad.
(4-2) lead for Shipley. As the Shipley Gators have scored 3 consecutive goals, 2 by Mustafa and 1 by Tanner Andrioli after Cooper Abraham got the scoring started. Jude Walsh has 2 goals in the meantime for the Firebirds, but so far that looks measly compared to the 4 on the scoreboard for the Gators. .6:48 remaining on the clock. Firebirds need to score as many goals as they have in the last 42 minutes in the next 7 if they are to at least force overtime. Before we can get underway, another whistle pre-face-off, and the officials will have a conversation. Very brief one at that. So Jack, let's have a conversation of our own. What are your thoughts on the game so far?
Very different halves. First half, second half, very different. First one, very, very defensive. Second one, we've seen 6 goals in this second half. Wait, was the first one the first half or second half? It was second half.
Second half.
Yeah, second half. So 6 goals in the second half, 0 in the first. So a total switch of pace between the first and the second. Very different use in terms of going around the goal. First half, they were really prioritizing getting the ball behind the goal and trying to go around. Second half, they're more shooting from outside to the left and right of the goal instead of going behind it.
Zay Razzler and the Firebirds trying to move the ball around the offensive zone. Still no shots on goal. Jude Walsh has 2 goals on 3 shots. That one just skipped high the net, and Xander Gillian read it well. .6:05 and ticking off the clock in the 4th quarter. Here's Brady Flynn. Flynn drops it off to Jude Walsh. Walsh forced to back away. And Walsh will direct traffic. In front of him rests multiple players right now, but Josh Razzler most notably. And a whistle will be called against the Firebirds, and so Shipley takes over possession once more. Walsh's pass went a little bit high regardless of the whistle. Coming all the way down the field and getting pass deflected down is Ben Bradlow. And off the recovery go the Firebird offense. Here's Lippy down the near side, firing to the center to Flynn. Flynn down low, one-timer shot is saved off the leg of Gilligan. The shot was taken by Malpezzi, and the door was wide open for him, but just seemed to hit the floorboard. 5:07 now to play in regulation. The Firebirds cannot seem to get an extensive offensive attack, a consecutive offensive attack, as Jude Walsh goes down trying to knock the ball out of the grasp of Cooper Abraham. Abraham to the top to Hyatt for a reset. Shipley staying with the ball. Malik Mustafa now not doing much. Mostly trying to kill clock. The Firebird defense seems to be letting them at the moment. Now some pressure being applied along that far side. Doing so is Malpezzi, forcing the issue on Dan Waldenberger, who goes around the X. Waldenberger wraps one around, and goal scored by Waldenberger. The Gators execute the possession to perfection, killing a full minute off the clock, a minute plus, and Waldenberger's wraparound shot is the sets up a 5-burger for the Gators on the day. It is now a 5-2 lead for Shipley with 4:11 to go in regulation. Three-goal lead today, or 3-goal leads right now, the largest lead of the day for either side. And it's a 5-2 Shipley lead, as I previously mentioned, with 4:10 now to go in the fourth quarter. The Firebirds need a late push. A face-off win would at least help that. They did for a moment, but immediately turned it over to Lucas Farrell and the Gators. Farrell drops it back over to Xander Gillian. Gillian back and forth to George Drake, the defenseman. Drake intercepts that one, deflects it down, and Josh Rasler picks up the loose ball. Rasler forced to go back to retreat and get it. Rasler and Scott Harkins going back and forth. Harkins took a shot. He'll draw whistles, and timeout is called by Ghost. 5-2 your score. 3:36 to play in regulation time, and the Gators are 3:36 away from a win at Holy Ghost. Five-2 lead for the Shipley Gators, 3:36 to play in the fourth quarter, and the Firebirds hoping to have a late rally here as they trail obviously by 3. They have possession to start this new period of time coming out of their own timeout. Jude Walsh wants the hat trick, and that one turned away again as Gillian slams the door, getting his shin guard on it. Fresh inbound by Brady Flynn. Flynn forces it on net. Another good save by Gillian. whose only 2 mistakes all day have been the 2 goals allowed to Jude Walsh. Time ticking off the clock, under 3:10 now. Gillian taking it all the way up. Gillian drops off to Scott Harkins. Harkins makes a man miss. Able to get by Colin McCarthy, the senior, who's on for the first time today. And here's Noah Lackman. Lackman holding on to possession, now being pressured away. Spin move by Harkins. Harkins heaves one in open space to Malik Mustafa. 2:25 to play in the 4th quarter. Mustafa down by the corner of the field. And by that baseline, he'll try to kill some clock. Tommy Walsh easing off on defense, now going after him. Walsh and Mustafa in plenty of open space. Now the Firebirds send 2 on Mustafa. Mustafa forces, the Firebirds force a heave. Pass was dropped by Waldenberger, who has the 5th goal of the game. Waldenberger evades a man to the middle, that one knocked away. Picked up by Mustafa, who spins, shot, save by Seamus Cranley. Rebound by Mustafa once more. That one knocked away. 1:39 to play in the 4th quarter. Here's Hyatt. The Gators looking to just seal this deal up. Hyatt being pressured back behind the net. Hyatt lost the ball for a moment. Centering pass is knocked away. And here comes HGP down the sideline. They need to score on this possession. Josh Razzler hoping to give it to them. And now Tommy Walsh is taken down. Walsh will get hit up high, and Walsh slow to get up, and he will remain down. And that'll bring about a late whistle. 1:08 to play in the 4th quarter. Walsh need help getting up, and we'll take a break. Hold on. 1:05 to play and ticking now as Tommy Walsh gets up. Mustafa into the corner. And Mustafa will come away with it. Without possession of the ball, the Firebirds take over in said corner. Ryan Lippy. Lippy, he is one down at Jacob Tuesday. The Firebirds are going to get one more shot on net. Maybe a late miracle. Jude Walsh being pressured back. 5-2 lead for the Gators with 30 seconds to play. Walsh get another shot on goal. 2 of them defend the back of the net for him today, but that one does not. It's eaten up by Gillian. 20 seconds to play, and the Gators will try to look to run out the waning seconds of this game clock. Ben Bradlow takes the pass. Bradlow to Cooper Abraham. Abraham has that one knocked away. Abraham lofts one into open space, and that should about do it. 5 seconds on the clock, and a late whistle called against Bobby Williams on defense for the Firebirds. 3.7. Williams, the length of the field, heave to Walsh, and that will be it. The Shipley School Gators come into Holy Ghost Prep and defeat them on their opening live stream day in Lacrosse by a final score of 5-2 on the Dwayne Athletic Complex. It was a 0-0 score at halftime. So as Jack said before, a tale of 2 halves in this game. The offensive tempo picked up massively in the second frame of 24 minutes. But not enough for the Firebirds, who led 2-1 and then allowed 4 consecutive goals. It just seemed to get away from them at the end of the 3rd period, towards the end of the 4th quarter. I'm going to say period a lot this season. I apologize. But 4 quarters of play have been completed. 48 minutes have elapsed. Jack, what are your thoughts on the 5-2 loss?
Rough game for the Firebirds. I mean, having a 2-1 lead and responding to it with 4 unanswered goals for the opponents is not a great look for this Firebird defense late game. That will need to be addressed most likely, but the potential is there. We saw the way the team went, just dishing the ball to Jude Walsh and getting 2 goals quickly. If they can find a way to replicate that more times than, say, a 30-second time frame, this team could be in for something special. They just need to work on the longevity and the consistency and not blowing it all up like TNT in the last 12 minutes.
So it was a very awkward paced game. Very obviously low scoring, as we said before, even though the final score was 5-2. But scoreless for the first 24 minutes of play. The third period highlighted most of the scoring. 2 goals by Shipley in the third would seal the deal for the Gators. So with that, the first live stream of the year for Lacrosse has come to an end. We will have some Under the Lights games later this year as Dwayne Athletic Complex expands to cover now Ultimate Frisbee, Lacrosse, and Soccer, with the overhead lights ready to be turned on at any point in time. For now, for Jack Dobbins and Caden Stewart, or for Jack Dobbins, I'm Caden Stewart. We'll see you next time on the Holy Ghost Prep YouTube channel as the Firebirds fall to Shipley 5-2.
Holy Ghost Prep ties it up. Holy Ghost is on the move.
Yeah, Firebirds had a lot of momentum.
Right from the jump for the Firebirds, who look really good.